I'm Lucy and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd try something a little bit different. So I am going to be doing how many pages can I read in 8 hours. So it's just about 4 o'clock here, and so I'm going to start reading at 4 and go till midnight and see how many pages I can read collectively in that 8-hour time period. So I have two books that I'm going to try and get through in this video. So I am going to read The Library of Legends by Janie Chang. It's about China in 1937, and Japanese bombs begin falling on the city of Nanking, and 19-year-old Hu Lin and her classmates are ordered to flee. Yeah, this sounds really interesting read, and I'm looking forward to getting into this. The other book I'm going to read for this video, or attempt to, is The Hairpin Bridge by Taylor Adams. It's a psychological thriller. 3 months ago, Lena Nugent's estranged twin sister Cambry drove to a remote bridge 70 miles outside of Missoula, Montana, and jumped 200 feet to her death. At least that is the official police version. Lena isn't buying it. Now she's come to that very bridge, driving her dead twin's car, armed with a cassette recorder, determined to find out what really happened by interviewing the highway patrolman who allegedly discovered her sister's body. Like I mentioned in my January TBR video, I did read No Exit by Taylor Adams last year in 2022, and I wasn't the biggest fan, but I have been wanting to read this one too. This one sounds really interesting, so I'm hoping that I do actually end up enjoying it. So yeah, I'm gonna kick off my 8 hours, I think, starting with Hairpin Bridge, and then we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I don't know if I can finish 2 books in 8 hours, but we are definitely gonna give it a whirl. So I'm at the end of the first hour, and I am 78 pages into Hairpin Bridge. So far, I'm kind of mixed about how I feel about it. On one hand, it kind of reads like a bit like a movie. Like the girl Cambry is being stalked by the killer, and the chapters are split. On the one hand, Lena is on Hairpin Bridge, and with the cop that found Cambry's body, and is like questioning him and talking to him about what really happened, try and get an idea or a sense of what was going on with her sister at the time. And then the other parts are Cambry's story. So part of it is bits that Lena is writing. It's a story about her sister, and the other parts are about what Cambry was going through in the hours leading to her death. So it is like a stalker thing. Yeah, I It's very similar to a movie that I watched. Can't remember. Probably like one of the Wrong Turn movies or something like that. It's very similar to that. Or at least that kind of vibe. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't gotten really a sense of any of the characters yet. A lot has happened in a really, just in this little short space of time. So I don't really care about any of the characters yet. Like, I already know that Cambry is gonna die. So it's not like I can root for her to survive. And I know that you already know who the killer is, and so all I'm really waiting for now is for Lena to kind of catch on, and she kind of already has. So it's going to end up being another chase between the cop and Lena. I guess it's going to kind of relive her sister's last moments as well anyway. Yeah, like it's not awful, but it's not super brilliant either. Like it's just there. I'm kind of enjoying how it's written. Like I said, it does kind of unfold like, especially the Cambry's story parts, kind of unfolding like it would if I was watching a movie about it on TV. You can see it all playing out. It's just, yeah, it's hard to really like feel for any of the characters or anything, or get a sense of them, because I already know the outcome for Cambry. Yeah, it's a stressful read, for that reason. Like she's hiding from him, trying to get away from him, and just like, she's not gonna make it. I know she's not gonna make it, so it's tough in that sense. Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure how I do feel about it. Gonna continue a bit more and see kind of how that goes. Yeah, so that's 1 hour in. Hour 2, and I am at page 130 of Hairpin Bridge. I still don't really know how I feel about it. I'm a bit bored, to be honest. I really don't care about any of the characters at this point. Like, they are all I don't really care what happens to any of them. It's still going back and forth between Lena and Cambry, and yeah, there's a lot, but also not a whole lot has happened so far. It's just a lot of, I don't even know, just it feels like a lot's happened, but it's been a slow amble to get there. And yeah, I really am struggling to really care about any of the characters. Lena is she's fine, but I just don't care. yeah, I will say I'm liking this more than I liked No Exit. But not by much, I will admit. The Cambry parts are really predictable. Like, you already know how it's going to end up, and you're just watching her get there very, very, very slowly. So that's fine. And the Lena parts, I don't know, just I don't really care about her either. I'm guessing she's gonna survive. I don't really care if she does at this point. But I'm gonna assume she makes it. Just because it's kind of the nature of the book. Yeah. So I don't really have too much to update on right now. I'm just very, very, very mixed in how I actually feel about the book itself. Yeah, I'm waiting for something, I don't know, really exciting to happen, I guess. I'm waiting to be surprised about how it happens, and I just don't know if I'm gonna get there. It's very yeah, I'm waiting to be surprised, but I'm not even sure that I'm going to be. So far, it's just been quite predictable, and it really is. Like, I swear I've seen this movie. Like, it could be any of those types of like wrong turn movies, just written in words. And yeah, I'm hoping it does get better. But I'm honestly not holding out too much hope. I'm going to continue and see what happens. And yeah, I will update you in an hour. Okay, so I'm 3 hours into Hairpin Bridge, and I'm at page 200. And it looks like there's another 100 to go, although I'm not sure of what. It could be done now. It could be tied up nicely and just finished, and so I'm guessing it's going to be another 100 pages of running and gunfighting and running and fighting, and just that's all it's been for the last little while anyway. So I guess it's just going to continue. I'm not having a great time, I'll be honest. Maybe it's just not for me. I'm not sure. It's just I'm not loving this one. Yeah. Again, that hasn't feels like I've got a long way without a whole lot happening. It's just been the same thing for pages and pages and pages, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be how the last 100 pages is too. Like, it's just not. It's just been a lot of fighting and talking and trying to get a confession that's not really happening. Lena has been writing kind of Cambry's whole side of it in a blog post, or what I can only assume is a blog post. It started out as a blog post, but most of it is, I don't know. I don't care, to be honest. I really don't. I'm not super excited for the last 100 pages. it's just been the same thing. It's been 200 pages of the exact same thing. And I don't care anymore. I will keep going because it's not so bad that I want to DNF it, but it's not brilliant. I know on my January TBR I used this book for my prompt of low expectations, and yeah, I mean those low expectations have been met. So yeah, it's not wowing me, I will say. I don't know. I'm hoping something actually happens. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna. I don't even know what could happen to improve this. To be honest, it's just been 200 pages of the exact same thing, which is fine. I just feel like this could have been 100 pages shorter and still be a perfectly fine book, you know. So I guess I will read the last 100 pages. I'm thinking that'll only take me another hour anyway. I've been averaging about 80 pages an hour, so yeah, so it'll probably take me a little bit over an hour. So we'll see how the last little bit is. Yeah, I mean I'm this far, so I might as well continue. But yeah, so that's hour 3 of my 8 hours. 5 to go. So it's 8 o'clock and hour 4 and halfway through my 8-hour reading period, and I have finished a book. So I did finish Hairpin Bridge by Taylor Adams. It was fine. Yeah, the last 100 pages did get better. It revealed a few things that were slightly interesting. A few surprises, but overall it was pretty much just the same thing happened over and over again repeatedly for most of the book, and I'm not convinced it was just, I don't think it was for me really. It was, yeah, I just didn't really enjoy it very much. Yeah, it was fine. Yeah, the last 100 pages were worth it, I suppose. Yeah, there were a few things that I didn't quite see coming, which was nice. But for most of it was pretty yeah, pretty much what I expected. There wasn't too much. Yeah, for the most part, it was pretty much what I expected. Yeah, it was an average read. Yeah, don't think I would reread it, but I didn't hate it enough to not continue with the book, so there is that as well. I honestly just didn't really care for any of the characters through any of it. I really didn't. The secrets that kind of came out made me care even less about Cambry, and yeah, I did start to warm up to Lena a little bit, but I mean I knew she was gonna survive. because that's what had to happen. So yeah, there was a lot of violence, which usually doesn't bother me. But yeah, it did seem like a lot, and it was mostly just fighting and arguing and just trying to get this confession. Elena had kind of invented her own idea of exactly what happened, which she'd pre-written and put to go up on her blog like that for the midnight after the day of this occurring. And she'd kind of decided what had happened, how Cambry had died, what was happening, what was going on in Cambry's head, and had really just decided how it had all occurred. And then it turned around with this actual confession of what actually happened, and Lena was quite wrong in her assumptions of how it had happened, but it was an okay book. I did read No Exit last year, and that wasn't really for me either, so I just might not vibe with this author too much. We will see. And so with me finishing that book, that means I can start on my next one. So for my second book today, I'm going to be reading The Library of Legends by Janie Chang. So this one is set in Nanking in China in 1937, and I think this sounds really interesting. So I'm going to give this a whirl and see how far I can get in the remaining 4 hours that I have left for this. So I will read for the first hour and then kind of do a little bit of an update for that as well. So I'm going to start reading this one, and I will see you in a few. So I am an hour and 72 pages into the Library of Legends. So far, Nanking has been bombed, and the University of Minghua has been evacuated in response to escape the Japanese invasion, and they are traveling to a refugee space to set up like a traveling university essentially. They've been tasked with taking the Library of Legends, which is a lot of books on Chinese mythology and stuff, and protecting that and their journey to this place that they're going to. There's a lot of Chinese mythology featured in this. Every so often there's like little snippets of portions of mythological legends and that kind of thing, which is really nice so far. It's quite nice. Like I'm really enjoying it so far. I haven't got too far into it, so not a ton has happened. The imagery in this is beautiful. You really get a sense of being there, and yeah. Leanne is she's so far I really quite like her. She's a bit cautious, but she's like thoughtful and very kind and friendly. And then she's made friends with a couple of people, Xiao and Sparrow, and yeah, there's a lot of characters in this so far, and I've lost track of some of them, but yeah, Leanne is the main one, and then Xiao, I think he's the main one too. So the chapters kind of alternate between Leanne's and Xiao's perspectives. And yeah, so far they're on this journey to this refugee place, and yeah, so that's kind of roughly the first 72 pages, and yeah, I will check back in in an hour, see how much further I get into it. Okay, so I am now at page 225. And so the next bit is going to be is like a new part. So the first part was a journey west, so now we're going on a journey east. So there's been quite a lot that's happened so far. So those long track for the school to get to Chang. Oh gosh, Chang 2. Where they have been hiding out, or yeah, where it's kind of where the school set up their like refugee traveling camp, traveling university. So they've been there for a while. So there's been a murder. A couple of students have been arrested for being spies. A professor has been arrested for being a spy, and a bit like that. Now Leanne is being accused of being a spy as well. So she and Xiao are planning to run away from the school, try and get as far away as possible, try and get to Shanghai before she can be arrested as well. So there has been quite a lot of has happened. It's a really interesting book. It's a really interesting book. Like, I've been really enjoying this one. It's just a lot has happened. Leanne I really like her character. There hasn't been a whole ton of Xiao, but he is quite fun. But he does seem to be quite an interesting character as well. And yeah, I've really enjoyed it so far. I don't have a lot to say about it. But yes, it's eventful, which is nice. Yeah, so I have 1 hour left in my little reading challenge thing. And there's about 120 pages left in the book. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to finish it in that hour, but we will see. If it looks like I'm close to the end after my 8 hours is up, I might still continue to get to the end of the book. But yeah, I will do like the ultimate page count at the 8 hour mark. And yeah, so far I'm really enjoying reading this, so I'm excited to see what happens next. Yeah, so I will be back with another update in an hour. Okay, so I did actually manage to finish the book, The Library of Legends by Janie Chang. So it really was very different to what I initially expected, but I did really enjoy it. I'll admit that I don't know a ton about the history of China, like this particular time frame, or the war, aside from I vaguely remember us doing it in history class, but don't think it was particularly extensive, and that's really all we would have done about it, I believe. I vaguely remember parts, but not enough to be like I'm an expert or anything. Yeah, I don't imagine the class that you take was too extensive. Like, no, I wouldn't think any of us came away particularly knowledgeable. So this did feel like it was a really long, overall it was a long amble through China as the students fled from their university to parts of the country that weren't being actively attacked by the Japanese, and then back again as Lian and Shou and Sparrow head back towards Shanghai and the more extreme aspects of the bombing and the war. And it was really interesting to see how all of the individual communities that they passed through were affected by what was going on. You got glimpses of the hospitals, and you saw soldiers passing through, and yeah, just the group stayed in monasteries and convents and things on their journey, and so you really did get a sense of how all these little individual areas were affected. So it was really cool. It wasn't just like in one little spot, that it was this big overall sense. The group didn't stay in any place very long. They would stay at like a month or two at the most on the route, like the university's route, as it went further east. So they would stay like maybe a month or two just to get rested from their long journey, and when it looked like the bombing was coming closer towards them, then they would pack up and take off with a final destination in mind. So yeah, that part was really cool. I also really liked how the story intertwined history with Chinese legends and lore. And again, I don't know too much about Chinese mythology and all of that, but this did feel like a nice introduction to it. The way it was used, like there was a star that almost felt like a whole separate character, and assisting, guiding, told us stories through part of it. So that was really cool. That's an area I haven't read too much about, so yeah, that part I really liked. The descriptions of the journey that the groups were taking were really great. Like, you really felt like you were there and you could see it. So that was nice too. The characters, I didn't really care too much about, but it didn't really matter because the rest of the book, like all the kind of the background stuff, really made up for it. And yeah, just the journey itself was really really interesting to read. So I ended up not particularly caring for the characters. Yeah, so it didn't really make too much of a difference for me for this one. Yeah, there really was a big sense of like overwhelmed and like a lack of, I mean, no one knew what was going to happen, what the future was going to hold, where they were going to end up. They didn't know if they were actually going to be safe that night. And you really felt all of that, like the uncertainty that was felt throughout the book of what exactly was going to happen, where and when. And there was never really a chance to like settle down or feel you know, like a breather in a way. So yeah, all of that was in there, which was really fun to read. So the final 8-hour page tallies, total pages read in the 8-hour time period was 662, and I think so I think that was pretty good. I did complete the 2 books that I wanted to read in that 8-hour time period. Granted, they weren't very long, super long books. Hairpin Bridge was about 304 pages, and then this one was 355, if you not including the author's notes and things. So yeah, that was that one was the Library of Legends, which was a really enjoyable book, actually. I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, so I hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching if you did, and yeah, I will see you next time. Bye!